Yeah, so recording in progress. Let's get started. Yeah, it will be recorded and it will be shared with you guys. You will get all the recordings of all the lessons that we have on this free course. Okay, so answering also the second part of your question, Asya. So those links, they actually links to the YouTube videos that have the detailed explanation how to install those tools. So just try to watch that video and install according to it. In case if you have any troubles even with installing according to the video, just post that your question in the chat and we will solve it. But nobody had a problem before because those videos are pretty detailed how to install those tools. So just follow that video and you will be able to install everything. Okay, let's get started. Let me share my will you share the PowerPoint presentations? Yes, why not? Actually, it's pretty simple. I don't even know if you need it, but I can share it all definitely. Not a problem. So let me know if you can see my screen, which is the presentation. Yeah, you can. Okay, okay, sounds good. Okay, so first of all, I already answered partially why we are trying, why we're doing this course and what we're going to do. First of all, you are going to try yourself in a role of software tester, because we are going to work on documentation. We're going to work on the test planning, then bug reporting, and the test automation as well. So you will be doing all of that and you will have homeworks. And in that way, you will understand if this is something that you would like to do, because most of you probably never knew what is QA and what those people do as their job. So you will be able to understand that during this course and just understand if you would like to even do this job in the future, right? So we will be working with the software requirements. What is that? It's just requirements for anything we develop. For example, you have any application on your phone, you have banking. Oh, okay, like this. Or you have a banking application on your phone, for example, that you use daily, right? Or you use a messenger on Facebook. So all those applications developed by somebody, right? And all of them have requirements. When people say, hey, I would like when you click on the application, you see the login page and login your email field should be here, your password field should be here, your login button should look like this, and so on. So all of those documents describing how it works, called requirements. So we will be working with them. Then we will be planning our testing. And after that, once we plan our testing, you will get the application and you will start testing it. And once you find problems in the application, you will create bug reports, right? And this is what testers usually do. But as well, we'll be learning coding basics. We need that for test automation. And we will, on the fifth lesson, we will create our test framework based on the knowledge you will get on the coding basics course. And you will create your first test automation framework and write your first tests. And also we will be talking about job search, we'll be talking about resumes and interview search, and talking about success stories on the last lesson. Also, you'll be able to meet our team. You met me, you met Stan. I hope you will meet, I will invite also Sergey and Alex to the other lessons as well, so you can meet them. And maybe they will also conduct other lessons. For example, Alex will conduct some manual lessons and Sergey will conduct some JavaScript lessons, so you can meet his approach as well. And feel like home, because we have a family-like environment here. Most of the people after the course become our friends. We meet in real life. We start skiing together, riding bicycle together, playing soccer together. So start feeling like home today. And also, nice new, if we also stimulate people who are very motivated and complete all the homework. So whoever will complete all the homeworks and would like to join the main course, we will give you $400 discount for the first month. So, and this is for those people who will complete all the homeworks. Again, the approach is very simple. whoever is mostly motivated and really wants to get a job, because we have problems with people, to be honest, who doesn't complete the homework. So for those people who will complete all the homework during this free course, will get a discount. That's fair enough, I think. Okay, let me check the chat. Are there any questions? How long this class will take? Probably almost like 2 hours, like around 2 hours. I can stay longer in case if people have questions or something else, but around 2 hours. Usually one lesson is around 2 hours. Okay, good. Let's go to the next course. So this is the structure of this course. So you, the next 2 weeks, you will have 2 lessons per week. Today you get manual course, and the next Monday you will get another manual QA lesson. On Thursday you will get coding basics lessons, and they will have a separate homework. And so that will be for 2 weeks, week 1 and 2. On the 3rd week of this course, we will have resume interview, job search, success stories lesson, and test automation as well. And during this lesson, you will be able to see that automation is pretty simple once you know some coding basics and you are using modern automation tools, because they are pretty simple, and we will provide you a detailed instruction how to actually create a framework from scratch. So you will be even able to do that after the free course. Not even, of course, main course is more advanced with page object model, with continuous integration. But even after this free course, you will be able to build your first automation framework. So this is the structure of the free course. And actually, it's very similar to what we do on the main course. So main course, actually, it says 2 months, it's 3 months. This is the structure of our main course. So we do the same on the main course, and that's why on this free course, you will be able to understand our approach, because this is what we usually do. We teach people manual QA and coding basics in parallel. And if they understand by the end of 3 months that, hey, I'm good at manual QA, but also I was able to understand everything in coding basics. So that means if you were able to understand everything in coding basics, you're ready for test automation, and you can go to the next level and become test automation engineer. Some people, they just learn manual QA and coding basics together in parallel, and they just realize, hey, I'm not good at coding basics. So they just stop on manual QA and then go and look for manual QA job. Okay, questions. Where we can find a schedule for this free course? It is actually in announcement chat. I can actually it's on our website. Our website has a schedule where you came from. That page, www.techstart.dev and /free. So there you can find the lessons there with the dates. Okay, for where we can find a schedule for the answers. Do we cover tools needed for mobile application testing? Yeah, we will cover something, but on the main course, not here. Actually, for manual testing, the tools are the same. So there are different tools for automation testing, for mobile automation testing. But for manual, the tools are pretty much the same. The only difference that you may use some debugging tools, different debugging tools for manual testing, and the tools to install the applications or simulate devices, that can be a difference. But mostly in terms of like planning, in terms of working with requirements, bug reporting, everything is the same. The tools are the same for manual testing. Prices, job finding. Guys, for prices and job finding, so prices on our website, it's $5.99 per month. Job finding, we will discuss that on the next lesson. That's not the topic of today's lesson. So the main course is 9 month total. It depends. Actually, 3 months manual QA. So that's the main course, 3 months. It's not 9 months. For test automation, it's 6 months. It's 3 manual QA plus coding basics plus 3 months test automation. So those guys are in parallel. They are not separate. People take them in parallel. So you do the 3 months of manual QA plus coding basics. And then if you feel that you are good in coding basics, you go to test automation. So it's a 6 month. Test automation 6 month. Okay, and development path looks like this. People learn coding basics, then they go to front end actually. And again, this is 3 months. I need to fix this. 3 months coding basics, 3 months front end. And if after front end, they also would like to learn something else, they go to 3 more months for back end or mobile testing. Those are separate. Usually you don't take them in parallel because you will not learn anything. This is how development path looks like. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so now let's get to learn QA. So what is software tester does? So actually, most of you already doing a lot of stuff in your life that looks like a testing job because you all work with some requirements. For example, you buy a new TV or you buy a new phone or you buy a new, I don't know, let's say you never used vacuum, right? You just bought that robot vacuum that just vacuums your floor on its own. So then how you learn how to use it? For example, you just bought that robot vacuum. How you will start using it? How you know what to click and what to do? Who can answer that question? How you know actually how to use that new vacuum that you just bought? Or anything else, you just bought something.
Instructions.
Yeah.
Instructions.
Yeah, you have some instructions, you have some manual. The difference in QA that you have instructions, but you don't have a robot yet, because developers will use those instructions to build a robot, and you will use those instructions to create your test and then to test that robot, right? So most of the applications, there are exceptions because you may work in some small company, they don't have money for a specific person who will create requirements, and somebody, for example, a CEO or some director defines the requirements saying, hey, I want this to be like this, right? So sometimes there are no requirements, but in most of the companies, there are some requirements. How that application or that tool should work. And your goal will be read those requirements and understand everything, how it's gonna work or how it's gonna look. And this is really important because usually a lot of people, even professionals in QA, they know that they need to work on the requirements, but they don't understand why. And I will try to explain why. Just imagine the case, 2 cases actually. One case, nobody works on the requirements. You read them, but they are not clear. You are not able to understand them fully. You are not able to understand how that application will exactly work because people create those requirements. So people can make mistakes, people can forget something. So those requirements, especially the first version, will be super unclear, will have some gaps, will have some incompleteness, contradictions, ambiguity. It will be there for sure. So imagine the case, you don't work on the requirements. So developers, they take the requirements and start building the application. And there will be like 10 different developers. One developer takes one part of the requirement, second developer takes another part of the requirement, and they create the application. Eventually, because requirements are not clear, there will be a lot of problems because developers, they will have their own opinion how it should work, right? And they will create a lot of bugs, a lot of problems. So what happens next? You come to the picture, you start testing that application. You have to spend time to understand the application. Then you find problem, you need to report it. You need to report that problem. So you need to spend time writing the bug report. Then developer needs to spend time to read the problem and understand it. Then go to the system, open the application and reproduce it. Try to find it according to your explanation, how to find it. And then developer needs to go to the code and fix it. Then once that's fixed, developers send it back to you saying, hey, it's fixed.
Мия,
Go and check.
Мия, не, я тебя не звала.
Oh, I can hear.
Мия.
Let me just check. Who's not
Okay.
Who's talking here? Who's not muted? Okay, I see. Let me do, okay. Seems like I found the person who was talking. So if you don't work on those requirements, everybody will spend a lot of time. You will spend time, developer will spend time. Then once it's fixed, you have to go and check that problem again, that it's not reproduced, it's working now. So imagine how many hours the entire team spent just on that single problem. And there may be hundreds of those problems. So even one problem involves a lot of time spent for finding it and fixing it and then verifying it, right? So you just burn money for the company. So the company has to pay you for that single problem and you will get hundreds of problems. So that company eventually won't be successful because the company will just waste money. The right process, and that's why your role is very important as a software QA engineer, because you have to make sure the requirements are clear. So your first step will be read the requirements and try to understand them. If there is incompleteness or there are some contradictions, for example, in one place, so previously the plan was to have a green button in your application. And business analyst, usually the person who creates those requirements. Business analyst was just copy pasting. Hey, green button, just copy and paste it in few places. And then somebody changed the mind, saying that let's make that button blue. Blue looks like primary button. Let's have that button blue, right? So business analyst changed that in two places, but forgot one third place. So you have two places saying that button should be blue, and the third place saying that button should be green. That is a contradiction, right? And that happens because usually we try to use copy paste to save our time, and business analysts, they forget sometimes to copy something, paste something, change something, update something. So you will get a lot of interesting stuff in the requirements. Just sometimes you just don't understand. There is ambiguity. You just don't understand how it works. So you would like to clarify, hey, business analyst, can you explain in detail how it should work here? So actually you are the person who will be just reading, trying to understand and ask questions. And you will be asking those questions until you get full understanding. So imagine you didn't have that robo vacuum, you didn't have it. But your goal, by just reading the requirements, understand how it will exactly look and work. So this is your goal. And if you don't have that understanding, you ask questions until you get that understanding. And business analysts will be updating the requirements until you get the final version. So if you have the final version of the requirements, there will be lower chance that developers will create bugs in the future. So you will actually save money, time, not only for you, but for the developer and for the company in general, right? So this is your goal. And this is what your first lesson. You are working on the requirements to save time for yourself and for development and for the company in general. And time equal money. So you save money for the company. Less problems, more time for you to produce more work. So for example, instead of like producing one feature with 100 bugs and spending time on reporting them and fixing them, you either create 3 different features with 0 bugs. That's why working on the requirements is very important. Once you work on the requirements and you have clear version of the requirements, development team, they start, then you say, hey, it's done. I'm done with the requirements. They are clear enough. The requirements are used by developers to create the application. So they start coding actually. In parallel, you start test planning. So actually you create a test plan in order to just like prepare for the testing, because you do that job in parallel. So development team is coding, you are planning. Once they are done, you're also done with the test planning and you start testing. So actually by the time when you're done with your test planning, you have something to test. So now you will have first version of the application. So how test planning actually looks like, oh, this is the different slide. Okay, then you do the test planning. Once you have application and you have test plan, you start executing those test cases. You go and start testing. So you test, and then you find problem. There still will be problems, even if the requirements are ideal and you think that you did a great job, there still will be some problems, minor problems, maybe medium problems, but there will be still problems. You will find them. So once you have a problem, you do a bug reporting. And then you report bugs, developer fix them, and you check that they are verified. Once they are fixed, you check that they are not reproduced anymore. So there are no such bug. It was fixed. And once you close all bugs, you go and do another round. So those sprints, those cycles, they getting repeated and repeated. So you will be working in such cycles. Once you're done with one cycle, you go to the next one. You again work on the requirements, you work on the test planning, then you test, then you report bugs, you check that they are fixed, and then you go to the next cycle. So this is actually what you're going to do. Most of manual code job. This is how it looks like. So let's get to some details. For example, you have the requirements. You have this login form. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say you have the requirements. Your requirements usually are in many forms, right? You have requirements in text form. So the text form will just describe something, and you will get some mock-ups, like showing how the application will look like. So let's say we have requirements for this login form. It's just like two requirements, as you can see, right? This is the requirement for login button, and just two of them. Just an example, because there will be more. There will be requirements describing how many fields are here, what this field has, how it works, and so on. So everything will have, every tiny detail will have a requirement, right? In this case, we have a requirement for login button. So requirement says, hey, login button should be displayed below the login form. So we see the login form over here, and this is the screenshot, how it should look like. We don't have application yet. This is just an example of the design, how that application is expected to look like in the future. And based on this, developers will be creating that real application. And you read it, you try to understand, hey, login button should be displayed below the login form. You see, okay, this is the login form, it should be displayed over here. Yeah, makes sense. Seems like clear, no questions. And the button is blue. Okay, the button is blue, good. You may ask questions, hey, what is the color of the text? It should be white, for example, right? What is the size of the button, for example? Maybe it matters. Maybe in their case, it will be on the design like this, like as wide as the text field, right? And so on. So you may have additional questions, but you need to see the whole picture, because I don't see the whole picture here. Maybe there are requirements for the size, for the text. So you will ask those questions. Anything you would like to understand better, like, hey, what is the color of the text? What is the size of the font here, right? What is the font family? Is that like Arial? Is that like Segoe UI? Is that a Times New Roman? And so on. So if you would like to get some additional information, you ask that question from the business analyst. Okay, so let's pretend we get everything. You read the requirements, they are super clear for you. Then you start test planning, which is also simple. You sometimes need to use test design techniques to create some test cases, but in most of the cases, actually use requirements. Because, for example, login button should be displayed below the login form. This is actually your test, one single test, and you write it, hey, login button displayed below the login form. And later you will just mark it check or X, like passed or failed. Either it will be displayed below the login form, or it will not be displayed below the login form. So depending on the output, you will mark them as a pass or fail later, right? And you create another test based on this requirement. Login button is blue. So actually, this is how you create the test cases. Yes. In many cases, there will be more complex requirements, and you will have to think and use test design techniques, which we will learn on the main course, how to use the test design techniques to test that. But in this case, actually, it's pretty simple. And actually, in most of it, probably in 90% of the cases, it will be just copy pasting the requirements and just rewriting them a little bit to have like complete sentence, right? In this case, as you can see, it was saying that login button should be displayed below the login form. In this case, you should say login button is displayed below the login form, like you are stating that it's displayed. And later, when you will be testing, you will just mark it pass if it's displayed or fail if it's not displayed. Same for the color. Now let's imagine that you are working on the test cases, and in parallel, developers were working on the coding, right? They were creating the application, and they created this form. They created this form. So this is actually what developers created. So you start testing. You open the application, the exact application, you open your test cases, and you start testing. Login button displayed below the login form. Is that pass or fail?
Pass.
Pass.
That's correct, because it is displayed below the login form. And then we test another test case. Login button is blue. Is that pass or fail?
Pass.
Fail.
It's
Fail.
because it's not blue. We are expecting it to be blue. So that's why we mark it as fail. And once you mark something as fail, you go and create bug report, which will be something like, we will learn how to create it in the next lesson. We will actually creating a lot of bug reports, but for today, it will be something like, hey, each login button is red, but expected it should be blue, right? So you create a bug report, and the developer will pick it up, and will start working on it, fix it, for example, making the button blue, then saying, hey, I fixed it. You check that bug report again, saying that expected was blue. You check the application, it is blue, and then you close that bug report, and that's it, you're done. And if you're done with all the bugs you found, you go to the next cycle, and there will be, for example, a new requirements for forgot page, right? Once you click this button, there will be forgot page. And once you log in, for example, you go to your user dashboard, right? So there will be another requirements for that dashboard page, for the remind password page. So, and you will be working on those cycles until you create a like big application. And if you imagine, for example, Facebook Messenger or any other application, you see that sometimes new features appear in your application, right? This is how it works, actually. People constantly working in those cycles, producing new features. So usually in most of the companies, cycles are 2 weeks long. So actually you do this job during 2 weeks. Team, for example, there are like 10 developers and 7 testers in the team, few business analysts, right? So depending on your team, let's say you can cover 2 not 2 features, like 7 features, for example, during the 2-week cycles, right? And you work on those 7 features, all the developers working on different stuff, different testers working on different stuff. You cover those 7 features. Once they are tested, are you guys able to hear me well?
Yeah.
I saw some interruptions. Yeah, once those features are tested, you as a tester define saying, hey, we are done. And they send this feature to production where real users start seeing it. Because when you're testing, nobody can see it. You are testing it in special environment just for you, like a special environment that only you can see these new features. Real users that are using your application, they don't see this feature yet. Once you approve it, saying that we tested everything, we closed bugs, now it works fine, your developers send this feature to the real environment where real users see it. So when you see some new features in your application that you're using daily, that means that somebody tested it previously and then approved it, and then it's sent. And right now, those people working on something new that will be delivered to you in the future. This is how it works. Questions? Sergey is asking who's involved in test planning. We are involved. So the test plans are our responsibility. So we are creating test plans as testers. Every tester should know how to do. It's a basic knowledge of the QA person. So everybody has to know how to do the test planning. Everybody. Okay, so
sorry, can you talk a little bit more about test planning? Like there's let's say the requirements come in, and then at that point there's a meeting, like a first meeting with like who's at the meeting? Like the testers, the project manager, developers?
Yeah, usually the first meeting that you will need to attend is called Requirement Refinement Meeting. So that's a meeting when business analysts or whoever created. So people who create the requirements can be called differently in different companies. Usually those are business analysts. And those people conduct like overview meetings. So they explain the requirements from their point of view. So usually on that meeting, there is a business analyst or the person who created the requirements, some designers, if there are any designers who create those design specs on the left, and testers and developers. So people who will be mostly working, but because developers will be working with the requirements to create the application, you will be working with the requirements to plan and test the application. So mostly those people, like project manager is not interested in those kind of meetings. He or she may attend anyways, but those are optional. So the mandatory people to attend those kind of meetings are people who create documentation, developers and testers, maybe some designers, right? But other people are like optional because you.
And there's like everybody's working in Agile right now, and like I hear a lot. There's a Scrum Master. There's a Scrum Master and the project manager. So there's two people. Like one, he brings in the project and comes from like I guess the business side, and the Scrum Master he's on the operating, like what is his role in the meeting?
Yeah, Scrum Master is a very strange role because he's usually facilitating. He's planning, making sure that everybody works according to their roles and so on. So Scrum Master, again, it's optional for this kind of meeting because business analysts can plan this meeting on their own, saying that, hey, I will plan this meeting and it will be on the schedule and Scrum Master will see that meeting. But again, Scrum Master is not mandatory in this meeting because Scrum Master may facilitate, may remind business analysts to conduct this meeting, may actually create and conduct this meeting as well. But that person is not mandatory because that can be done even without a Scrum Master, right? So, so yeah, but again, those are our details, right? Those are details because for today, to understand the testing role, it's not even required. So we don't need to understand the Scrum Master role today. We need to understand QA tester role today, right? Mostly. So our role is to ensure the best quality of the requirements first, then best quality of the test cases, then best quality of the test execution, execute every test case, and then best quality of the bug reports. And we will discuss that separately, right? Because today we start working on the documentation and the test planning as well. And again, one thing to understand, there is a misconception what the test planning is. For example, I used to learn in the past when I lived in Ukraine that test planning is test plan is the document that is created by project lead, QA lead or QA manager, describing the approaches, the tools, the amount of people will be working on the project, like document describing the general test approach, how the application will be tested in general, right? Not the test cases. Here, you may hear in a lot of companies, like in 99% of the companies, the test plan is just a test case document, right? And you can say, hey, do you do test planning? That doesn't mean that you have to create a test plan. That means that you have to create test cases. So in most of the cases in the United States, test plan is a test case document, just to let you know. But according to official description of the test plan, it's not the test case document. It's a document describing the approaches, the tools, the amount of the people on the QA team, the automation, and blah, 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 blah. A lot of like the general approach for testing.
And who writes that information? Who puts that in writing? The tools?
Usually key manager. For example, the company brings you as a key manager for the project.
Oh, okay, okay. Understand. Okay.
You will define, hey, what we're going to use, the automation or not, how we're going to start. Maybe it's a web application if we're going to cover different browsers or mobile devices and so on. Give me a second, guys. I just need a second to just. Okay, sorry for interruption. Good. So let me quickly check. Our requirements and user stories are the same thing. User stories is just a way to define requirements. So just like part of the requirement. Fail. Okay, no questions anymore.
Arthur, I have a question. How to test if we don't have requirements? And did you have this case in your experience and your job?
Yeah, of course I have. Then you will have to work with people who, like, if there are no requirements, usually there are people who tell developers what to create and how to create. It's a really bad case, because if you even explain somebody in words how it should work, those people will forget that anyways, right? So you have to actually have the document showing, hey, this is how it should work, so that person, even if forget, can open the document and read it again. Aha, okay, understood, or okay, that reminds me. And you then, as a developer, you remind yourself and start creating the application. But if there are no requirements, there are people who usually define how it should look like saying, hey, Michael, you just create the same login page as Facebook has, right? So your requirements will be Facebook page then, right? Absolutely the same. Have as a Facebook page, a Facebook login page behaves, same your login page should behave, because your business analyst, or maybe you have a small team, like you have 5 people, including the startup CEO, 2 developers, and 2 testers, let's say like that, right? So, and your CEO said, okay, guys, your Facebook, your login page should look like Facebook login page. That's it. You open Facebook login page and just compare it side by side, your login page, because those will be the requirements for you. You'll be using a Facebook login page and how it behaves. What if you click and enter incorrect password? What kind of error message appears? Everything is a requirement for you then. So this is how it usually works. You try to find, but I would love to actually ask those people, hey, maybe we need to start writing the requirements actually in text, so we have a reference to open and work based off, right? So I would actually ask people to anyways write the requirement and explain them importance and how they will save money by investing time right now, because you invest time right now, you spend it right now by working in the requirements, but you save much more time later. So if you can explain that to your business analyst or to your CEO, that why it's very important to have requirements to save money and to be efficient as a team, as a company, they will start creating them for sure. But you need to understand yourself first, and then you will be able to explain them. And once you explain, they will say, hey, I want to save money. I want to do more and save money. So, and they will start doing that. So you just need to tell them why that is important. Okay, so that's it for the presentation. Any questions so far? Because we're going to switch to the requirements, exact requirements for the application we have for you. Okay, no questions, so let's go. Okay, then, so these are the requirements that we have for you. We have the application. So I will be your business analyst today. And also I will be tester as well. I will be going through those requirements with you. And first of all, I will be explaining you the application, what the application exactly we're creating. So this is the application called Get in Line. Let's imagine you have a small clinic that is doing right now the vaccinations. And clinic understand that it's really hard to manage queue. People are coming, and then you don't know who was first, who was the last one. They start arguing with each other and fighting with each other. Hey, I was first. No, I was first. And you know, so our goal is to create an application that will help people to get in the queue, and they will have their own number. And they will see what their number in the queue. So once somebody is done with their appointment, so they get a shot, that person is getting removed from the line, and the next person becomes the first one in line, right? So you probably saw such applications in, I don't know, in I saw them, for example, in Kaiser pharmacy. So when you come to the pharmacy, you actually get a ticket, right? Or any other like public offices, you get a ticket and you wait for your place in line. This is the similar application. So you get to the clinic website, you click this button, get in line, you fill the form, and you see that there is a number of people in line, and you see, for example, your number in line. For example, right now my name is number 5. Those people will disappear, and I eventually become the first one in line and get my shot, get my appointment. So this is actually how the application looks like when you open the application. Okay, and then those are the functional requirements, and we need to read them and see if we don't have any additional questions, if we don't have any additional, for example, if we don't have any contradictions here or ambiguities, right? If everything is clear for us, and we will be asking questions, how it usually happens, right? So let me share this document with you guys. I will send this link both to anyone can comment. I need you to commenter. Okay, like this. Done. Oh man, copy. Okay, can comment. So how it usually done? I give you the link to those requirements, and you will be able to leave comments, and I will show you how to do that. So I'm sending this link to our Slack chat requirements here, and let me send this to Zoom chat as well. Where's my Zoom chat? I see it, chat. So everyone in this meeting. Okay, so I just send it to the chat, so you can open it. I can see that some people open it over here. So how you do that, guys? You just select something, for example here, and then you will see this add comment icon, or you do a right click and you see the comment over here as well, and you will be able to leave a comment. Let's say, for example, here, I start reading functional requirements. I have this beautiful design spec showing how the application should look like, and I read, by navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. Okay, text area, table. Okay, so the first question, actually, I will display like 4 sections and leave a comment. I can see 4 sections on the design spec, just design, but only 3 of them are described, right? Because I see 4 sections over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I see 4 here, but I'm able to see only 3 here. Maybe just a copy paste or accidental, for God's sake, only 3 here. So how it happens? I don't know, maybe accidentally removed, right? Because sometimes you just work with the document and then selected the text and then like accidentally typing something, click delete. So you tried to type in a chat, but deleted something over here on this monitor. I didn't get it. I just moved my mouse to the chat and continued typing. But I even didn't notice that I deleted something in the document. So it may happen like that, right? So anything. So I don't know how, but I ask question. So business analyst will see the question and will have to reply over here, saying that, for example, business analyst then see to text area, table, and say, okay, yeah, I've probably forgot something. It should be image over here as well. Okay, and business analyst replying, hey, Arthur Senko added. Sorry for that. Sorry for that, right? And just reply. And that's it. So actually that business analyst will reply. Once it tags me, I will get an email saying that, hey, business analyst replied in the document. I will just open that email and click in the link in that email, and that will open me this document. And I see, okay, sorry for that. Edit. I see, yeah, it says image. So it's a text area, image, table, and the get in line button. Awesome. Sounds great. So actually then, yes, I actually mark it as result. So the person who asked the question marks it as a result. So because I asked the question, I say, yes, I'm satisfied with this answer, then I mark it as a result. And then that means I cover this, I close this question. For God's sake, I will mark this as well. Okay, Evgeny Nikifor, not supposed to be all caps, these guys. Yeah, actually, this is, you see the difference. Actually, this is a contradiction. You see, get in line in regular case over here, but in uppercase over here, right? So that, which is a confusion, how it should be exactly, how the text says or how the design says. And business analyst will reply, for example. So actually, it will fix it first. Get in line button. Okay, got it. Evgeny. Oh, why? Why did you do that? Not like that. I need to reply first. So let me just do this. Reopen. I reply first. So I say, Evgeny, yes, fix it. Thanks. I reply, and then you, if you said this answer satisfies you, then you mark it as resolved, right? And this is how it works. So this is what you do, how you work with the documentation, right? So this is okay. So let's see text area. Okay, then we go to the text area. Text area. This is the text area, right? So located in the left top section. Okay, so far so clear. Consists of 3 lines. 3 lines. Okay, there are X. What is X? Actually, it has a star. Okay, so let's mark like this. What is like this? X with a star. What is X with a star? What is X with a star? Okay, X people in the line text. Okay, let me just, I am coming as a business analyst saying, okay, so let me do the following. Let me say like this. Explanation. Star is just like explanation. So number of people in the line. Okay. Oh man, number of people in the line. So I will do this. I will mark it as maybe like grayish, make it grayish, and say, yeah, edit the description, the explanation. Then I come as a tester and say, okay, here it is, got it, resolved, and so on. So let's go together. Let me maybe to pick somebody from the list, and you will help me to read this and understand. Roman's saying, hey, font size cannot be 0 pixels. Of course, yeah. So that's probably a bug, and business analysts will have to reply. And I don't remember the size, so I will reply after the lesson once I find the exact size that is expected, but because I don't remember. But this is a good question, and this will be a part of your homework. So your first part of the homework will be read this document and ask as many questions as possible until you get full understanding. And let's do that by Thursday. So you have time by Thursday. So on Thursday, you will have a coding lesson. After the coding lesson, your coding homework starts, and you're in the next part of the manual course homework starts. But till Thursday, you have time to read the document and then ask me as many questions as you want. And this is what you do. You just read these guys and try to understand from the design and from the description how it should work like. So for example, 0 pixels, right? It's definitely not 0 pixels. So that's a good question, Roman. So font family, okay, clear enough. Color black. What is color black? It's not black. I eventually see it's like it's not blue, it's like purple color. Yeah, here. So actually, you can say, hey, it's not black eventually according to design spec, right? So what is the expected color? And I can even provide you a exact color code that you can then, when we'll be testing, to check in the console, in the browser console inspector, that the color is exactly matching that code, the color code. And so you ask that question as well. So let's ask that question. It doesn't look like black on the design. Okay. Also, you may ask, what is the font color, right? Because the text color is here as well, and it's white, but maybe it's not white. Maybe it's like bluish or something like that. Maybe there is an exact color code for that text. So you ask that question as well. What is the? Let's. Oh, wait. Here is the. Oh, wait. I'm looking at button. Oh man, this is the text. So the color is not black. Okay, good. So the color is not black. What else? We have the text left aligned. We have this here. Font family. Okay, we will check it when we'll be testing, but let's say this is expected. So font size is big, pretty big. It's not 0 pixels eventually for sure. And color is not black for sure. It's like more purple or something like that. So, okay. And seems like I don't have any other questions. Any other things you may see here, guys?
Where is it font family?
Font family is like, when you're working in over here, right? When you're working in text editor, you have different font families over here. This is the font family, right? So it can be, I don't know, Rochester, for example, right? Or Times New Roman, right? So this font is Segoe UI, called Segoe UI. This is the font, the actual font that's used for this text. Got it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so image. Okay, so this is this image part located in the left top section. Got it? Left. Oh no, it's not left. Oh, I got it. So how it usually happens? So business analyst just copies like this and then paste that text and then changes, right? But sometimes just forgets to change something and it says left top section. If two different developers will be working on these requirements, one of them may create text in the left top corner. The second developer at the same time can create an image in the left top corner. So you eventually will have some strange bug, but that's what would happen if you don't find this problem. Located in the upper right. And you need to say according to design. According to design, it's upper right? Because it's eventually what you see here, right? Upper right corner, yeah. Okay, got it. Also, what I would love to ask, what if I do this? Will be that image static or dynamically changing the size? So what I would say like this, what is the size? What is the size? What is the size of the image And I would love also ask, is the size static or dynamic? When I change the size of the browser, right, or the window. So that's also what I would like to understand. Okay, so images should be pretty simple. Also, if you know once you learn more about web development, you also may know that it should be according to American Disability Act, there should be alt text in the HTML code. So I can actually, based on my knowledge, I can also ask about that as well. It should be there an alt text according to ADA. And yeah, if business analyst doesn't know what that is, that business analyst will come to me saying, hey, what do you mean under ADA? And then I will just Google, send the link to business analyst saying, hey, according to American Disability Act, every image should have alt text. So when it's not displayed, you will see the text. And for the people with disabilities, especially for blind people, they are not able to see the image, but that image will have a text information in it, describing the image. So that's why it's important. And that's why there's a requirement under ADA for those, for that. Okay, table. Okay, this is the part, table. Located in the left bottom section. Got it? Yeah, that's actually seems like correct. Consists of. So it consists of table header. Okay, so this is what I see. It has number, vaccine, 3 columns. This guy, vaccine recipient, and ID. Got it? Okay. What is the first? So what I would like to ask here is the text color, the text size, and the background color, because it's not described, and it is important for me. So I will do like this. Text size, text color, background color, like this, and so on. So I won't go further because I would love to leave something for you to work on. Okay, and I will just, as a business analyst, describe in general what happens. So what happens? Actually, you got to the application and you see this. You see the table with the existing people that right now in the queue. It may be empty because there are no people in the queue, right? And in order to get to the queue, you click this get in line button, right? So you click get in line, then you see this form, like a pop-up appears, form. You enter your first name, last name, you enter your birthday, and you select the vaccine and you click submit. If you click cancel, it closes the pop-up. If you click submit, at the bottom, you will see your ID with this, and you see close button once you click submit, right? And you got ID and your name appears in the table at the bottom. Also, how table works, if there are less than 7 or equal to 7 patients, you'll see all of them. Once you have 8 and more, you won't see all of them. You will see the 5 first patients, then ellipsis, and then the last patient. Just the way not to have a long page, but instead have just first patients that have to go next, and just how many patients in general. So you will have your name at the end eventually, but then it will move, right? So in case if you have 7 patients and less, you will see all of them, because you can see the maximum number of lines is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you have 7, you see all of them. Once you have 8 patients in the line, it just changes to 5 patients, then ellipsis, and then number 8. And then you have more, you again see only 5, ellipsis, and the last one. So this is the how it should work. Okay, so this is how table works. And once you complete this form, click submit, you will see your name over here with this ID matching what you will see here as well. So what is this? This will appear over here. So instead of this button section, you will have the ID over here on the left. Here it is. And the close button instead of submit. And cancel disappear. So you will have close and ID over here once you submit the form. And then you can just click the close, it will close, and you will see your your name at the end of the line. And that's it. This is pretty simple application that we'll have to test. So again, you come, it looks like this. You click get in line, you will see this form, you fill it out, click submit. You get this at the bottom of the form, you click close, this form closes. And then you see the table with your name at the end. If you have 7 patients, you will see the entire table. If you have more than 7 patients, you will see 5 first, ellipsis, and the last one. This is how it works in general. And one more thing here, there is a calendar functionality for the date field, and this is how it works. And there is a description how it works. So your goal, first goal will be first part of the homework, will be to read the requirements and ask as many questions as you can in order to understand everything fully. Sometimes you just not able to understand something because business analysts have own words to describe something, right? And you may just simply don't understand. It's okay to ask questions. And sometimes there is a contradiction, exact contradiction, and sometimes something is missing, and you need that information to be able to understand how it will work, and so on. So your goal till Thursday to ask as many questions as you can here to cover this functionality fully, to be able to fully understand how it works. So this is the first part. Okay, got it? Any questions before we go to the task planning?
Yes, I'm sorry for my questions because I'm very new, and I have a question. I don't understand about 8 lines. Could you please explain about where is the
This?
yeah, this one, yeah.
Yes.
You said 8 line, it's normal, yeah. I mean, first is the explanation line, yeah, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It means if the business analyst write 8 lines should be there. It correct, yeah, because I see 8 line, yeah.
Yeah, but the first one is not the line. This is the 7 patients, right? So the first one is header. Header is just like, this is the number, this is the vaccine recipient, this is the ID. So you don't count this guy. You count only patients with the numbers. See over here. So if you have 7 patients like this, like here, right? You have 5 here, but let's say, imagine you can have 6 and 5. You will see all of them. You will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you will see all of them. But once you have patient number 8 and more, table changes. It displays only 5 first patients, then this ellipsis, 3 dots, and then the last patient. This is just the way to save space, because imagine that we have that endless table growing, so you have long page to scroll down, right, on your computer just to see the last patient. Just a way to have that table short and small. This is the way how the table should behave. So once you have patient number 8 or more, it will display 5 ellipses and the last one in the queue. For example, number 8 or number 9, or in this case, we have number 20 patients. So
okay.
5.
I got it.
Those are from 6 to 19. They're just hidden, right? You don't see them, but they are there in the line. Once, for example, Julia gets the shot and gets removed from this line, Kyler will become the first one. Arthur will move to number 4, and number 6, which is hidden, will become number 5, and you will see it, right? You will always see top 5. But when you have 7 and less, you will see the whole table. So the idea behind this, you maximum see 7 lines. In this case, it's 7. You can see 5, number 6, which is like a hidden patients, and then number 7, the last one. So you always have 7 lines maximum. So the table is always 7 plus header, as you mentioned, header, which is number 8, but it's just a header. We don't count that. So this is the explanation of the table functionality. Got it?
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah, and this is exactly, for example, this is what exactly business analyst is doing during that refinement meeting. So the first meeting you attend with business analyst is just refinement meeting, when business analyst describes the functionality. And you may ask questions right away in that meeting. But even after the meeting, sometimes you still have questions. So your goal will be to overview the documentation after the meeting and ask as many questions as you can to make it fully understandable for both QAs and developers, because you will be using the final document that is fixed and has the latest version of the requirements. You will be using that for task planning, and development will be using that for developing the application. And the goal is to have it, again, super clear, so developers don't produce bugs and you don't spend a lot of time to report all of that, right? And then test it, and then developer and team have to fix it. So you will just waste money for the company. So that's why your goal right now at this point, to spend time right now to save time later. Clear? Okay, sounds great then. Then the next step will be, as you remember, once you have this, let's pretend this document is clear for you, and we will have it clear by Thursday. So I give you time by Thursday to finalize it, to have the final version of this document by Thursday. On Thursday, I will start, you have to start working on the test cases. When you have a final document, don't start working on the test cases before Thursday, because you will have not final document yet, and you will just wait for some answers, and it will be not clear test case document. So just wait till Thursday, and after Thursday you can start working on the test cases when document will be final and clear. Okay, so yeah, the first step, I will actually send the homework in the chat as well, so don't worry, but just again repeat. First part of the homework is to work on the document, try to understand it, how the application will work, and ask questions. Same questions as you just asked me by voice and in the comments. Okay, so link is already there, and you need just to work on it and ask questions. Got it. So test cases. So usually we do the test cases in special applications, special programs. So on our project, on our main course, we're using Azure Devops. Azure Devops is the platform that we buy licenses from for our students and add students to this platform. And we manage all our projects here. So this is the project management system, because we have all the requirements here. We have all the tasks, tasks, sprints, everything we work on, we have it here. We have our repos, our code here, test automation, front end, back end, everything is here. We have continuous integration pipelines that we are running. We have them here. We have test plans also here. And documentation is actually here in Wiki. It can be reached from here. Functional requirements over here. We have board test plans. We have different environments that we're testing. So actually, and we use test plans. So actually we use test plans here, but unfortunately, I cannot add all of you and buy license for all of you on this free course to this system. So we'll be using a spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet later can be uploaded to Azure Devops by using export and import functionality. So this is what we usually do. So actually, we can create test cases in here in the spreadsheet, and then import it from the CSV file. Actually, so you write test cases here, then you export this guy, download, yeah, as a CSV file, and then I can import CSV file, and I will get all the test cases here in this project, and then you can execute them actually here in this project. As you can see that there was an execution, people were testing, everything passed. Oh, nice, no bugs here. Yeah, so usually we work here. On the main course, we work here, but on the free course, we'll be working in the spreadsheets, in Google Spreadsheets. So I will share this template with you. Your goal will be go here, file, and make a copy. If you have a Google Drive, you will be able to make a copy. If you don't have a Google Drive, please create a Google account, and you will be able to make a copy and to your Google Drive. So you will get a copy on your Google Drive, and then you will be able to complete your test cases and then share that test cases with me so I can overview them and provide the feedback. Next lesson, we will start from overviewing your test cases and providing a feedback about if everything was good or not, and my suggestions how to do that better, right? So this is what we're going to do. So how to write test cases. It's actually, as I mentioned, very simple. In most of the cases, you will just copy pasting the requirements and making them like a full understandable sentence, because copy paste, like just copy and paste, doesn't work. You have to make it understandable, but you use copy paste just to save your time, to at least copy part of the text, right? So let's open our requirements. So we already finalized the first part, and your goal is to test every single requirement, right? So actually, let's start reading. By navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. This is already a requirement. Why? Because there can be actually these sections, but there can be more sections, like 6. So actually, this case that there is a text area in the left top section, it will be true. That there is an image in the right top section, it will be true. That there is a table in the bottom left section, it will be true, and there's a table in the right bottom section, it is a button there. It will be also true, but maybe there is a middle section as well that is not described. So actually these requirement that there are 4 sections will be not true because there will be 6 sections. So actually we will test this separately just to have our work clear. So actually I will copy this, paste it. User can see for a sec. Oh, actually this is complete sentence. I don't have to even change it. By navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. Good, that's it. This is my first test case, which is pretty simple. Let's go back. Actually, what I love to do, what I recommend, do that side by side, like half of the window test cases, half of the Windows requirement. Yeah, and let's do this. So the first left top section, left top section, I would select left top section, is text area. Is text area. So this is what I mean. I'm copying and pasting, as you can see, but I make that a full, understandable, complete sentence, right? So everybody, let's imagine you write test cases, but that doesn't mean that you will be testing them. Maybe your colleague will be testing them, or you will create test cases, and there will be new person that will come to your company, and that person will be assigned, hey, we have test cases, go and execute them, because it's easy. You just, hey, by navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. That person will open the application and just, okay, I see 4 sections, pass, or I can see less or more sections, fail, right? So that will be super easy. So usually that newcomer will get that assignment to execute test cases. So that means that you should write the test cases in the way that everybody can understand them, right? So imagine that there is a person testing your test cases who never worked with the requirements. So your test case should be complete and understandable sentence. Imagine right now you come to my test cases and say, by navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. Will you be able to test this test case even without reading the requirements? Yes, the answer is yes. The only thing that you need is just a link to the application, and that's it. But then you can open it and see 4 sections, right? And also additionally, what I can do, I can add and I will add, actually, once I get here, I will add a separate test case to compare the design, the entire design of the page with the expected design in the requirements. I will add that as well. That is also a very good test case for new people, for other, even for anybody like to overview the design in general, because you can test, you can see 4 sections, but they will be like closer, they will be maybe broken. You will still see the 4 sections and your test case will pass, but the design will be broken. So having separate test case for the design is also good. And then help me. So what will be the next test case? Who can help me? Come on.
Test case about image.
Yes, that's correct. So what should I write here?
Right top section, image.
Right top section is image.
Is image.
Image. Yeah, got it. Then here.
Left bottom section is table.
Bottom section is the table. That's correct. And yeah, and the last one will be right bottom section is the I will copy from here. Get in line button. Awesome. So I did this, and as I mentioned, I will add one more. The page design matches the design spec. This is the design spec, like this is the expected result for the design. And the page design, I mean the actual page design that will be created by developers. So I closed this part. Okay, so let's move to the text area. Located in the, so what usually people do here, right? So we already covered that the text area is the left top section. So you can simply skip this one because you already covered that, right? So you can actually skip this because you logically understand, oh, already covered that it's a left top section, right? Eventually. Then what people usually do mistake with, again, what I mentioned, they just do copy paste like this. And then imagine you not seeing the requirements and you just consists of 3 lines. What consists of 3 lines? Like page design or what? I don't understand what that is. So actually, that's why I mentioned that
Text area needs to be specific. Text area consists of 3 lines.
That's correct. That's correct. It should be like this. So your test case should be complete, understandable sentence. So then once that person tested the text area, they exactly know the text area. They just scroll up and see, oh, this is the text area, consists of 3 lines. And then you can say line 1 is, and like this. There are, then I will do like this, copy, then line 2, line 3, and I'm doing this just to save my time, right? Just copy paste. Okay, like this. And I can even leave a note over here where, like this, right? So that person understands where X is the number of people in the line, right? And team, and the 3rd line is in the line. And now anybody who can come to my test cases will be able to read them line by line, and able to understand what to test and how. That's it. Okie dokie. So let's move. The text is left aligned. Okay. Actually, what I will do, I say, oh, actually, let me add more. So text area, line number 1. Line number 1. So it will be even better, even more complete. This. Right? Okay. Now it's even more specific. Then let's say text area, text is left aligned. Okay, then text area font family and so on, right? So I just complete that. Why that is important? Because when you execute test cases here, you will not see the list of them. You will actually see like this. Let me just show you how it looks like. You will see an individual test case like this, right? So that's why you see individual test case and you mark it pass or fail. Pass, and you click next. That's why, since you see only one single test case, that's why you need to be super specific so that people just by seeing a single line of text should be able to understand what to test. And usually what I do is just, either I open this on the bottom like this and open the application at the top, or make it like side by side, right? But it's better to probably use it on the bottom like this. And just, I can run my test case over here, next, and application is over here, and just, I'm overviewing and just testing it, the application itself. So this is how you organize your work. It's up to you, actually. I'm just giving you some suggestions how to make your life easier. So you have your test cases on the bottom, and you have the application on the top, and you can right away see both application and just test cases when you execute them. But again, for now, we are not executing test cases. We are just creating them. We will start executing them next lesson. For today, we are not executing them. We just work on the requirements and test case creation. That's our 2 goals for today and the homework for today. Okay, and then you just go one by one. That's what I mentioned. Don't create test cases by Thursday because we still have some questions asked and don't have answers for them. So that's why once I answer all the questions by Thursday, on Thursday, you will be able to have the final document and continue working on your test cases. So actually, I will share this template with you. It has my test cases and you don't have to create them from scratch. You can just continue, right? But before that, you need to get all the answers first. So you have final document. And that's it, guys. That will be the topic of the first lesson that we had today, and that will be the homework. Complete the document first, the requirements, and then once you have complete requirements, create the test cases for the application. And on the next lesson, we will start executing them, marking them pass or fail, and I will share the application with you, so you'll be able to really test the application, and we will be reporting bugs. You will report your first software bug. You will create your first bug report, not even probably a single one, probably will be a lot of bugs that you will report. And that will be for manual testing. Questions?
Arthur,
Go ahead.
I just want to ask, can you please explain, we are testing, this is graphic user interface. So this is like the front end of the application. This is what the user sees.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yeah, this is the graphic user and this is the front end part. There is a back end part and there may be some API testing involved, but that's not the part of the free course, unfortunately. We have API testing on the main course, but not on the free course.
When you're on the actual job, do you first write like test scenario and then write test cases, or sometimes you can just go to write test cases?
It depends. It depends. There is no like a rule. It's defined by the company, right? Eventually, maybe like 10 years ago, everybody was writing like detailed test cases. When you not only mention like we mentioned, right? We just mentioned like, hey, by navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. That was not enough. It was actually the document. When you see, when you define the short description, then you mention the steps to reproduce, steps to get to displays, like open the application and overview the page, right? And then expected result is you can see 4 sections, right? And actual result is empty. You define it when you test, right? So it was super detailed and it was called test case eventually, right? But right now nobody's using that because it's too detailed. You are spending a lot of time just for writing one single test case, and instead you create this, right? You create I would say this is a checklist, right? You just create a list of checks that you will be doing here. And sometimes, yes, as you mentioned, there are test scenarios. When you have a complex application that user can get in, then can use different flows. For example, the application I'm testing right now, people are applying for benefits, for example, right? And they can decline a benefit and they will see different next page. Other people will accept the benefit and the next page for them will be different, and the flow they go through the applications will be different. So that's why, yes, sometimes you create more complex level, which is a test scenario. So you can create different scenarios to cover all the possible paths through your application. That is also the case, right? But in this case, you just test this simple functionality and there is no like specific scenario, right? There may be some scenarios, for example, that, for example, user opens the this pop-up and clicks, doesn't fill the form, but clicks cancel, right? What happens? The pop-up should be closed, but you will actually test it in scope of the testing the cancel button, right? So actually you will cover that scenario. So actually here, you don't have to even logically think about scenarios because there is no different ways through the application. But in cases, if you have complex application, yes, you will also, additional to the test cases, you will create also test scenarios to cover different flows, which is absolutely correct. But it will depend on the requirements, because you will get to that place once you have the requirements for different flows. What happens if user clicks yes here? What happens if user clicks no here? And the output will be different. So you will be covering those flows separately as well. But it's absolutely up to your logic, right? Because the people will rely on you and your knowledge. If you think that there can be different flows and you need to cover them to make sure that everything works fine, yes, you will create additional test cases. If you think, oh no, it's not, it's enough to test only these ones, it will be enough, and everybody anyways will rely on your experience, because developer doesn't know how to create test case, and project manager doesn't know, and Scrum Master and business analyst, right? So they will rely on your experience. This will be your responsibility. And whether you define that you need more test cases, more scenarios, yeah, you will create them, and it will be your time, your investment.
And just last question on like severity and priority levels. Usually it's like part of the test case process, right? Like usually the tester would, when you write test case, you also assign severity and priority levels, or not necessarily?
We won't be doing that for test cases. Maybe somebody is using that, and it makes sense. Maybe if you have different levels of test cases, some of are more important, some are not. But in our case, everything is important, right? You have requirements, and your goal is to make sure, eventually, in general, that every requirement is implemented. Every requirement is implemented. Some of them are more important. For example, working button is more important than the different font, right? The button may have different font, button may not have text, it may be empty, but if it's working, it's more important than having the text. So of course, there are different levels, but we don't assign priority right now. As even you can see, this is the Microsoft tool. There is no even way here to assign the priority and severity, right? Usually we do that for the bug reports, and that we will be doing for sure, but not for the test cases.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. I see Anna is raising the hand. So Anna?
Yes, hello. I have a little question. We are creating our document, test cases and bug reports from our requirements or from pictures, because I see about some images. Right top section is the images, but in requirements is in left top section.
That's what I mentioned. So first of all, you need to ask questions and get answers. Then you have final version of the document. And in final version, there should be no contradictions. It should be super clear. The text should match the image, right? In the final version. Once you have final version, there will be no question what I use, text or image, because they should match. Text and image should match. But for that, you need to get the final version of the document. I need to go through the document, answer all your questions, make corrections, and give you the final version of the document. Once you have final version of the document, then you will start working on the test cases. Again, not right now. Till Thursday, you work on the requirements. After Thursday, you can work on the test cases because the document will be final. Is that clear, Anna?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Good. Awesome. Any other questions? Again, for now, just focus on the requirements and test cases. This is the topic of today's lesson. We will cover the test execution and bug reporting next lesson. For today, requirements and test planning. And my point of view, as you can see, this is pretty simple. Of course, there are some nuances, right? There are test design techniques that needs to be used in some specific cases when you have a lot of data to test, and you can limit amount of test cases. So then you can use test design techniques, but it's mostly part of the main course. It's not a part of the free course, but free course goal is just to give you an overview that this is pretty much what we're doing mostly 99% of the time. Like requirements, test cases, test execution, bug reporting, and then the next cycle, next cycle, and so on and so on. So this is the manual testing actually. Should be pretty simple. Any other questions?
Artur, can you explain in like few words the difference between Azure Devops and the Jira? because Jira is bug tracking system, and Azure Devops is the I guess the app when you create the bug, not the bug, the test cases. That's the main difference between them, or no?
Yes, those are just different tools. So Jira is like just for bug tracking, right? It's mostly for bug tracking. For the not bug tracking, I would say for the task tracking, let's say like that. So Azure DevOps is bigger. And again, Jira is like a Atlassian product. Azure DevOps is Microsoft product. I love Azure DevOps because it's a project management tool. I have everything here. We have requirements here. We have our sprint board. So Jira, actually, you can imagine Jira as sprint board when we track our issues. Additionally, you can install some additional tools in Jira. There are plugins that you can do the task planning there as well. But Jira, for example, doesn't have pipelines. Jira doesn't have virtual machines. Jira doesn't have agents. So you have to integrate that with, for example, you have to integrate Jira with GitHub. If you store your code in GitHub, you have to integrate them together and somehow make them work together. If you have your pipelines in Circle CI, you have to integrate all of that together. If you have your requirements in Confluence, again, you need to integrate that together as well, right? And so on. So you have to have many products to manage your project. So you use some products to store your designs, some products to store your requirements. For example, on my project right now, we use Notion. We use Jira, but instead of we don't use Confluence for documentation. We use Notion. It's separate tool. So we have to integrate that together. We use GitHub. So we have to integrate GitHub with Jira because we store our code in GitHub, but we use Jira for bug tracking in issue tracking system, right? So we have to somehow integrate that so it works together, which is complex. Right? In Azure DevOps, everything in one place. So this is the project. So this is the project, everything in one place. And I don't have to have anything else because Microsoft has servers, virtual machines, environments, code, pipelines, continuous integration, jobs, automation, everything is here. I don't have to go anywhere. Everything here, integrated together, and I use a single tool for everything. So that's the biggest advantage of the Azure DevOps because the entire project is here. I don't use any other system to manage my project. I don't have to think about integrations, how it works together, how to make it work if it doesn't work, right? I don't have to think about that because everything is already working together because this is the single product. So this is the main advantage of the Azure DevOps, and that's why we are using it. Got it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sounds great. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. This course for beginners or for advanced?
Of course, for beginners. We are just, as you can see, we're teaching this for people who doesn't know anything about QA.
Yeah, because I see someone of not beginners, and that's why I'm asking. Because will you fully explain everything we need to know, such as terminology, definition, and
Yeah, so you don't have to focus on Azure DevOps, for example, because people are asking about Azure DevOps right now because I'm showing it, but that's not the topic. For example, what you need to know for sure today in order to make sure that, because we learn everything step by step, right? So your next lesson will be based on the knowledge from this lesson. So if you're able to understand everything today about how we work with requirements, for example, how to ask question, I need to open this document, select the text, and click add comment. Then once I have a final version of the document by Thursday, I need to go to this template, click file, then make a copy. And let me do that actually, make a copy. As you can see, it will tell you the name of the document that will be created on your Google Drive, and then you select the folder for that file, right? And then you click OK. So the document will be created for you on your Google Drive, and you just continue this job. to continue creating the documents. I will show this at the end of this lesson. So once you have questions how to do the homework, you actually open the video that will be shared with you, scroll to the end, and just see my explanation on the homework, and that's it. So this is what you need to know for today. If you're able to understand this, that's it. You don't have to know anything about Azure DevOps or how to import files, export files. That was just additional information, how we do something in the future. But for today, the topic is how to work with the requirements and how to create test cases. That's it. Were you able to understand that part?
Yeah.
And that's it. This is what you need to understand today, because, and this is the approach that we're using. We use step by step. And that's why we really want people to do the homework, because every next lesson will be based on the previous one. That's how you can learn more complex stuff. You start with something simple, then based on the previous knowledge, you learn something more complex, then more complex, then more complex. And once you miss something, that's it. The next lesson is not so clear for you. That's why you have to attend the lessons, then you have to ask questions, and then you have to complete the homework. So the next lesson will be like this for you. But if you didn't come to lesson, if you didn't ask questions, if you are not clear, and if you didn't complete the homework, that's it. The next lesson is not for you. Where we can find the second document from the lesson, I will send it to the chat. Don't worry about that. I just once we're done with the lesson, I will just share everything, detailed instruction for the homework, what you need to do again in the chat, and the homework will be there for you. Also, one more functionality here. So here's the chat. As you can see, there's a pinned messages. So I will be pinning messages like this. I will do pin, pin to the channel. So once you click the pin messages, you will be able to see all the pinned messages. So the homeworks will be pinned to the channel. So once you click here, you'll be able to see the pinned messages. As you can see, there's one pinned message about the prerequisites. And those are important for, especially for automation and coding basics. So you need to install them. And also, if you open them, as you can see, they lead to YouTube. Hello, everyone. And there's detailed explanation how to install, like step by step on Mac and Windows. And there's even, I don't know. So, Node.js is the same. So there is no explanation separate for Mac and Windows, but for other things, like let's say VS Code, for example. Also same thing, because there is no difference, but I believe Python there is a difference. No, there is no difference. There are some other tools that have a difference for Mac and Windows, and so there are separate part of the video. One part of the video how to install that tool on Mac, and the second part how to install it on Windows. But that's all you need to do. There is a video explanation how to do that. So actually, it's pretty simple for you. And the homework will be pinned as well, and will be here as well. Let me just give you an example. If I pin this message, what will happen? It will be two messages over here, right? Let me just remove this for now. I will just create one single message with all the links and explanation of what needs to be done, and you will have it pinned to the chat, and you will just open it and you will see that the chat is there. And that's it. Pretty much super simple.
Can I ask a quick clarification question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I see like a couple of people already asked this question in the group, in the Zoom chat, but you didn't answer the question. So are we all like, there's like 40 people, and we all are going to work on the same shared Google Doc document on these requirements, and everybody's going to be leaving comments? So like, are we going, like, the point is, if 40 people are working on the document, if let's say when I get to it, like, let's say tomorrow, like everything can be commented or questioned, and then like, do you want us all ask the same questions, or is it going to be everybody is going to have to download it and upload it somewhere? Or
it's up to you. I usually want you to work on the same document, because this is how you cooperate in the team. You have a single document, and everybody in your team can comment. I bet that not 40 people will be working on a document. Usually some people, they participate in the meeting, they watch the video, but they don't ask questions because they are just hiding in the audience. So yes, of course, I would love everybody to work in the document and be proactive, because this is what you will need to do to be successful engineer. Be proactive and ask questions. And
well, basically my like question was, let's say I see a problem on the requirements, right? And I want to ask the question, but somebody already asked the question. So do you want me to comment the same thing?
yeah, you can, if you.
So you want to see like 20 same comments on the same point,
You can
just for clarity.
That's fine for me. That's fine for me. You can ask the same question, or you can just simply open and say, plus, I see the same problem if you saw it, right?
Well, you want us to do the homework. So how do I show that I've done the homework? Like, even though like it's been already questioned or answered, even answered. So basically, how do I show my participation? You know, that's kind of my
yeah,
confusion.
if you answer the question, you will not show your participation because I will fix it eventually, right? So you can have two cases. If you really would love to work on your own and have your own like documentation with gaps, what you can do, you can just open file and make a copy and have the not fixed document right now. So you can work as a not fixed document on your own. But again, you will have to come to this document because this is the official requirements. You will have to come to this document and like maybe copy paste your comments or something like that. Or if you would like to train on your own and you're worrying about that, other people will find the problems before you, yes, then just make a copy and train on yourself. But in terms of the project, nobody will wait for you, right? And on the project, there will be a document. If somebody is more proactive than you, they will come to the document first and find most of the problems. And your goal will be just maybe come on over you and say, I don't have any problems anymore with this document. So in terms of the project, there can be many people working on the documents, and the developers will be working on the requirements as well. They can also read and comment the document that business analyst shared with the QA and the development team, and they will be asking questions during the refinement meeting with the business analyst. So actually, the whole team will be working on the document on the requirements all the times in your career. So and access is for everybody, not only for you for the documents. So everybody can come and comment. So this is real case. So and that's why there is a specific timelines for the team. So the team has a timeline to come and comment, and somebody can say, hey, I have time tonight. Like my kid will be sleeping. I have time tonight, so I can even look at the document after work in my free time. So some people can be proactive and even overview the document in their free time, and you can come the next day to work and the document is well commented already and you have nothing to work with. It's a real case. It's not something specific, but I understand your question. If you would like to train, feel free to make a copy and you will have this broken document on your Google Drive, so you can work on it on your own. But anyways, official document that I will be fixing and answering questions will be this document. So you can just then come and see if I fixed your problem. Maybe you will have some unique question that nobody had, right? But eventually this document is official that I will be working on and fixing and making final, because this is the document we'll be working on for the test cases. Okay.
Question. So once you complete your homework, and how do you actually submit or upload for you to review or for other people to review it? How do you do it?
Oh, you will share it with me. So I will in the homework. So once I post the homework, let me show you again. I need this, guys. So I will send you the this doc. So I have the link to this document, to the requirements. So the requirement part is very simple. You just comment it out and I will be answering, and you just come and see my answer and either resolve it or say, hey, it's not clear enough, and then ask another question, right? Do not resolve until you're satisfied. Once you are satisfied with my answer, you just click resolve and that comment disappears. Okay, and make sure that I'm fixing the problem, because I may answer, hey, yes, it should be black, but I don't enter the description in the text. That's not enough. You need to make sure that I enter the description and answer the question. So only then you resolve. If I answer your question, but don't add description to the file, just do not resolve and say, hey, can you please update the requirements as well? And then I will go update the requirements. And once you're satisfied fully with the change, you resolve the comment. This is the first part. And I have the link for that. For the test cases part, for the homework or any other message, you have this reply in thread. I believe on mobile, you just click and hold on the message and it will be reply in thread. So you click this reply in thread and you click the link over here. So for that homework message that I will send it like, so in order to submit the homework, reply in thread to this message. So you will have that homework message and you just click on it, for example, like this, reply in thread, and click send the link to your test cases into this thread. And we will have a list of students with the homework. So how to do that actually? So let me show you. Once you do the test cases, again, you make a copy to your Google Drive and you work in that document, because you won't be able to change this one. You will be able to copy it, but you won't be able to change it. It's blocked for you. Once you make a copy, that will be your document. You will be able to change it, modify it, add more test cases. Then you do share. Then you go to over here and you select anyone with the link can view. If you would like, can comment. Anyone with the link can comment. So I can actually comment your document. And then you copy link. And then this link you send to the chat. Again, you make a copy of this test case document. It will appear on your Google Drive. Then you open it, complete the test cases. Only after you're done with, we are done with the requirements. Only after that, after Thursday, you start working on the test cases, you complete the document, then you do share, change. Anyone with the link is a commenter. So I can comment your test cases, and then you click copy, and that's exactly what you paste. Oh man, where is that? Slack. And that's exactly what you paste in here. And that's it. I will have that link from all of you, whoever completes the homework. And again, remember, if you complete the homeworks, you will get a 400 discount on the main course. Whoever will be able to join the course. Okay, I see Elise is raising hand.
Hello. So basically, in the Google Docs, we make questions about the text. On the Google Docs, there's text. We ask questions about the text, and after we ask questions, we wait until Thursday to fill everything out in the Google template. Correct?
Yeah, but until Thursday, I will be actively working in this document. So you will be getting answers from me. Not on Thursday, but maybe something today, something tomorrow, right? So whenever you have time and you get the email notification, hey, Arthur answered your question. So go and see, check. Okay, I satisfied with this answer. Just mark it as result, right? So, and we are doing this Thursday because by Thursday we are planning to answer all the questions and make all the changes to have final document. On Thursday, once we don't have any questions anymore, everything is answered. Resolved, then we start working on the test cases. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I was just asking for clarification. That's it.
Okay, got it.
All right. Thank you. No, that's it.
Come on, last two questions. Come on. Not even two? Okay, guys. Then I will be sending the homework to the chat right now. And then actively trying to, I will just spend some time because I want to drink something. I'm really dry right now. And after that, maybe like in 30 minutes, maybe in an hour, I will start slowly answering your questions, continue tomorrow. Just whenever you have time, just open the document and see my answers and either resolve or additionally ask for something else. And that's it. And on Thursday, I will just probably additionally remind you in the chat, hey guys, I answered all the questions. It's time to start working on the test cases. And please reply to this thread with your test case document. Please share it here. And then you just go to that message, click reply in thread, and post the link to the thread. So you will have something like this, okay, like this. So the question, the thread, like this, and many of the answers over here, like this, right? This is how it will look like. And actually, yeah, start learning Slack slowly, because the Slack is probably used by 90% of the companies, IT companies. So most of the companies using Slack for the communication. So you will be using this for the free course. Whoever joins the main course will be using that. And the main course is a team communication. And once you get a job, you will be using this actually on your job as well. As you can see, Slack is very flexible. You can have a lot of workspaces, right? I can see this techstart.dev space. We have a separate space for the people are actively taking the course. So the course, so this Slack is a paid license. It has additional features in it. And this is my company's Slack as well. So I can see, I can switch having one account and switch between different spaces. So you can still have a course Slack, your job Slack, any other Slacks under one account. Very nice tool. So just start using it. So by the time when you get a job, you know it pretty well. That's it. Thank you guys for participating. Anyways, it doesn't mean that you, if you don't have questions right now, you cannot answer them. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat, in the free course chat, and I will be happy to answer them. And see you next time. And maybe I will be even the one who will be working with you on JavaScript on Thursday. So maybe you will meet me again, or maybe another teacher. So we'll see. But anyways, was happy to have you here today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.